All right, so just I'm trying this again. Just an introduction to my platform, EJ Network. This is definitely an educational platform. I want to share information about African history. I have been studying African history for about 12 years, 10 to 12 years on and off, but really have made it more of a focus, I would say, in like the last 5, 6 years. Um, I was, before coming to Zoom and YouTube, I was in my church. I was going to different churches and at the Salvation Army teaching on African history, teaching on Black history. I felt God had placed it on my heart that, it's just not enough for me to know this information, but that He was telling me to tell other people so that we can be more educated about the contributions, the achievements of African peoples uh, in Africa and across the world. And so I want to see if I can share, just kind of give y'all a little bit uh, insight as a little bit of some of my work. Let me see here. Pull up presentation. Go full. Right. So, and I'm still learning at the same time. Okay. So this will go. Hmm. See if I can share this. Share. Okay. Looking good. All right. So we got that done. So yes, and so this is just an example of some of the work I did, and I actually did this presentation in 2018, late 2018 or early 2019. And the title of the series was Ancient Africa, the Mother Civilization and Global Presence, Part 1. My name is Sister Evelyn Johnson, and I did this for the St. Paul Baptist Church. And of course, we have Renoko Rashidi. He passed away this year, and definitely want to thank him for all of the work that he has given us, and the work that he has put in to document the African presence in different places, not just this one right here is actually in Mexico City, but also in India, in the islands, and all in all other places that African people have made a uh, definitely a contribution to the people that they surround themselves when they went to those different locations. And so we want to thank him and all of the work that he did. I'm definitely thankful and will miss him greatly. And so this right here, if you look at, and I started this presentation off with, what is this colossal monument? What does it look like? Who does this person resemble? And of course they say an African, you know. And I try to say that first before they start reading at the bottom. And then they figure out, oh, this is in Mexico. And I said, okay, where do you think it's at? And they say, oh, this is in Africa. And I said, no, this is actually in Mexico City. And then they just kind of like, they kind of gasp, like, what do you mean this is? And I said, yes, and actually it's one of the earliest stone monuments in that area. Okay. And so, of course, I just kind of do that introduction. And then, of course, this is just an example of it. And then I always open up with a quote with someone who is a pioneer, an ancestor, and in this case, Cheikh Anta Diop in his book, The African Origin of Civilization, Myth or Reality. he had a quote, our investigations have convinced us that the West has not been calm enough and objective enough to teach us our history um, correctly without crude falsifications. And so this is a quote by him, and many people in the audience know that, yes, that quote is true. They don't teach us, even in the Americas, the contributions we did here. Of course, right, they're not going to teach us if there's any other contributions. And so we know that there has been an attempt to keep Black and African peoples um, from knowing their true history. And then I want to back up just in case there are some doubters out there saying, oh no, they teach us pretty good, we kind of know who we are, just in case, right? There are some doubters. I back it up with some quotes. And these quotes I found in the book, the two quotes by was found in the book, The Seven Little White Lies, Conspiracy to Destroy the Black Self-Image by Azaze Jabari Azaze book, great book. Please go out and purchase it. And then the last quote at the bottom is by Dr. Supreme Understanding, When the World Was Black, The Untold History of the World's First Civilization. Another great book that I recommend. This is some of the quotes that kind of backs up some of the attempts to belittle African people, to put Black people in a permanent underclass that Dr. Claude Anderson always talks about. And so I'm not going to read it today. I just kind of want to give you a little bit introduction, because when I get into this information, I tend to get a little bit passionate, and I don't want to do that today. I just want to give an introduction. And then, of course, I always tell the people in our audience that, look, we're about to go on a journey. Prepare yourself. This is not something light. I really need you to focus. How many of you want to go on this journey with me? Kind of like this portal suggests, we're going into a different realm. We're going into a different place, a different zone. And so how many of you are ready for this ride? And of course, hopefully most of them say yes, and then I move on from there. And then I always like to have outlines of my presentations to help people to have some form of guidance. And so you'll see the outline there, part 1, part 2, part 3, and then part 4. And so early fossils, again, just giving some more proof, because it's one thing to say, yes, we're the first, we're this, that, and the third, but if we don't show any proof, again, it kind of is fluffy, right? It's really nothing to stand on, nothing firm to stand on. Now, when I first did this presentation, I actually didn't have this slide because recently there has been some findings of some older bones in Morocco, which is also Africa. Okay, those are brothers and sisters too, right? And so this is more Northwest Africa. And I'm not going to get into this, but this is remains that was found that goes back to 300,000, that is at least 300,000 years old. But then I kind of move from that to the Homo sapiens sapiens. And of course, I have both of them highlighted. And so just kind of give you a little bit of introductions. I don't want to get too much into it today. I'm actually going to stop sharing at this time. But yes, so that's just a little bit of an introduction. I'm actually probably not going to start with that presentation first. I'm going to start with another presentation before I even go into that one. Something to uplift women. I have 2 presentations to uplift women. One for and all of them really is for any woman, right? I think just because we study a culture on a particular group of women does not mean that another group from a different culture cannot gain some insight and also be helped and benefited from knowing different people. I actually believe that we are enhanced when we know each other. It makes us more educated, makes us more aware. And so even though I say I have a presentation for African women, um, hopefully it can help all women, you know, in the presentation. But then I also have a presentation that is more geared towards all women. Um, but I always come from an African lens, an African perspective. Um, and in my presentation, I do discuss genetics and early, like you just saw, the early fossils, DNA. And I truly believe that there's only one race, there's only one race on the planet, and that's the human race. And that our foremothers and forefathers went and populated the world. And so we're really just one family. And so I hope to see you in the future. Of course, this is the EJ Network, and God has compelled me to continue on the work. You know, I do miss seeing people. I do miss hearing laughter, and I miss seeing the curiosity on their faces, the young children asking questions as well. But um, because of COVID, you know, God has changed things around. And so he still allows us this opportunity to connect with each other. And so I want to connect to you today. And I hope that this um, series has meaning to you. Um, Thank you. All right.